Hey, what's going on, guys? DQ here from XQ Media. I know it's been a while since I've been online and seen you guys, but I figured today was as good a day as any to get on here and talk about some things that are going on in my mind and things that are going on in the world. Um, we all know the news, unless you've been living under a rock, that former President Donald Trump has been indicted on federal charges brought up against him by Joe Biden's DOJ, and I just been looking at the application of the law lately and how it's been being applied across the political spectrum. And just like many people out there, I see such political bias happening with our justice system, and it's literally being used to target political rivals as if it's some third world country, back road country, like we're living in Central America. No, sorry, we're living in the United States of America, and all these things have been leading up, building up for years. I mean, I've made a couple videos here and there speaking into how I feel over the course of the pandemic, basically calling it for what it was at the time, which was complete overreaction and just what I said was gonna happen happened, which was someday we're gonna wake up and COVID's gonna be a thing of the past. It's just gonna be over after all that heartache and bullshit that they put us through, hardships and whatnot. And other than that, though, I've kind of kept to myself. I don't really speak out too much, and that's shame on me. I truly should have been speaking out more, just, voicing my opinion because I have one, and I feel like it's just as valid as everybody else's out there. So, my silence combined with current events have left me enraged in politics. And that's the title of this new segment we're running here. So without any further introductions, wasting time, let's get into this video. It's gonna be Senator Hawley, and he is gonna be questioning some people from the FBI. This was last week, I believe. And yeah, it's just really interesting. So we're gonna watch the video and we're gonna make some comments along the way. Let's get into it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Hawley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Abadi, let me just stay with you. You just started to answer Senator Blackburn's question that not releasing the 1023 or talking about it as a matter of life and death, question of life and death, you said. Explain.
It is potentially a question of life and death.
For whom?
With regard to the source of the information.
So, okay, so now we've confirmed that the document exists. That's progress because the FBI director initially denied that it exists. Why did he do that?
Oh, wow. Big surprise. The FBI director initially denied that the documents even existed. And, of course, they're not gonna release any documents. He knows. Senator Hawley's not stupid. He knows that he's not gonna get a straight answer out of this guy. But isn't it funny how deny, right? Like liars do. Deny. And then when little bits of truth come out, like they always do, it's, oh, okay, well, that, but, right? So, yeah, it is very funny how now all of a sudden they're admitting that they do fucking exist.
We have already and previously acknowledged the existence of the documents.
Yeah, after you first denied it. Now, when a member of this committee read it, right, the FBI director, let's just get the record straight. The FBI director initially said it doesn't exist. Then Senator Grassley said, I've read it. Then he said, oh, okay, well, gotcha. I guess it does exist. Now you're going back and forth with members of this committee, what's in it. Why don't you just release it? Is it classified?
The document is not classified.
Okay. Will you?
The document isn't classified, but no, they're not going to release it because it would put lives at jeopardy, as if the FBI has had a big thing about protecting the identities of whistleblowers in the past. It's funny. What was the name of that whistleblower that was just busted over here in Massachusetts for leaking documents that had to do with the Ukraine war and the fact that we actually have troops on the ground over there? That guy's name wasn't protected. What about his safety and his protection? He's surprised that his name isn't a household name. I can't think of it right now. It's something Portuguese. Big surprise coming out here in South County, Massachusetts. So yeah, I don't buy that, the safety of it. What about the fact that you can withhold any information, you can strike from the record any information pertaining to the whistleblower himself? Oh, but what? Because it would probably be very obvious who it is. It's just the fact that you're acknowledging that they exist. It's probably already obvious to whoever would have an interest in harming him or them that who it is. They probably already have an idea who it is. The fact that you're even just acknowledging the fact that it exists. So, release the documents. Yeah.
You commit to releasing it?
Senator, we'll take that back and we will work with you in this committee.
How about just a yes or no? Will you commit to releasing this unclassified document that alleges that the President of the United States, has taken $5 million or more in bribes from a foreign nation?
The document has already been released pursuant to a subpoena to the House Oversight Committee.
Has it been released to this committee?
We will work with this committee within the parameters that are established to meet
Will you
the
release the
request.
document to the public? It's unclassified. Don't you think the American people have a right to see it?
Senator, the document, as you know, contains sensitive information that has bearing on the life of the source of the information, potentially.
You can redact the source's name.
Exactly. What's the point of even having classified and unclassified information if information is listed as unclassified and yet it isn't available to the public? At that point, by definition, it's being classified. Like, even if it's not listed as classified documentation, the fact that you're withholding it is in turn making it classified, essentially. Do they have that right to withhold unclassified information? I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a law expert. My gut instinct tells me no, and then the other side of my gut tells me that they don't give two fucks, and that I know that. You do too.
We do this all the time.
In some instances, Senator, and I know you know this, that is not sufficient to protect people. And that's what we strive and work to do each and every day. And I hope you would take that seriously, too.
Oh, I take it very seriously. But I also take seriously the fact that your institution has repeatedly abused its authority, has repeatedly targeted political opponents. Your institution is the one that went to the door of pro-life protesters with SWAT teams to try and intimidate people because of their speech. Your institution is the one that treated parents as domestic terrorists because of their speech. Your institution is the one that, according to the court, the FISA court, ran 278,000 unwarranted, probably illegal queries on Americans, right?
278,000. Wow. It's just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing that this is what I'm talking about. They act like, they can't take action, or there's no sense in taking any action when it comes to these actual criminals, white collar criminals, who are not only never mind this shit of bribery and of our president, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not underplaying that. You want to talk about Russian asset? Trump was a Russian accent. Yeah, okay. Trump was a Russian asset. Yeah, well, Joe Biden is almost guaranteed a Ukrainian asset, and would not be surprised, again, pretty much guaranteed a Chinese asset. So if we want to be calling anybody an asset, but never mind that. What about the people in Ghislaine Maxwell's Black Book? What about them? The FBI knew about Epstein for years. They knew about this. They had Hunter Biden's laptop now for years, just sitting on their thumbs. Oh, what's that? Parents at school board meetings asking a little bit too much questions here about the indoctrination of their children. Terrorists. Put them on a watch list. Come on now. Really, you're going to jump to action. Excuse my language. You're going to leap like a track star athlete into action just at the sound of the gun. Take off to pursue parents at school board meetings as terrorists, to pursue people who go and protest abortion clinics. But when it comes to Biden, when it comes to Epstein, when it comes to probably so many more people than we could even fathom, famous people, influential people, very, very wealthy people, and I guess that's what it all boils down to, right? Is the fact that they're wealthy, the fact that they're influential, and let's not forget the most important thing, they have the right politics. Those people, yeah, whatever, no big deal. But God forbid that law-abiding American citizens, if they slip up even just 1 second, just one little dip of your toe, even if it was an accident, like a judge would clearly point out to you, ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law. And ignorance of the law is no excuse for breaking the law. So, you slip up in the slightest, you're gone. You're gone. And I don't mean that they're going to kill you necessarily. I shouldn't have done that. But my point is, you're persecuted politically, criminally, financially, any way that they can get at you, they're going to get at you. Even if it can't be you directly, it'll be your family, whatever the case is, right? But God forbid they go after probably some people that are sitting behind Senator Hawley or aside him in this room. Like I said, who knows? We don't even know. I don't know this man. Maybe him. He could be have some skeletons hiding in his closet. Some serious skeletons of, I'm not making any allegations. I hope that he doesn't. There's no reason to believe that he does at this point. But the point is, if he did, damn well that the FBI would know about it. And specifically, if Senator Hawley did, that if the FBI knew something about it, that they would be in track star mode. They wouldn't be in thumb twiddle mode, right? Right?
That was your institution, correct?
With respect to the compliance incidents, yes, some of the other things you cited, we can take them one by one. They are not.
Compliance, you would characterize the unlawful querying 278,000 times of American citizens as Compliance issues?
We've said before, I've said that it's
Compliance?
totally unacceptable.
Who's been fired for it?
Individuals involved are handled through the disciplinary process.
Who's
That would be an answer equaling no one.
been fired for it?
We have, in the case of the unintentional instance where something similar happened, we have fired people in the past.
Wait,
They fired people in the past. Obviously he's not answering the question directly, but the answer is no one's been fired for it. If anything, I would tend to think that they would be promoted for something as such. To be promoted, you fail upwards, or in this case, they didn't fail. They did a great job of digging into Americans and really seeing what they're up to out there. Those what do they call them again? Stochastic terrorists.
I'm sorry. What does that word salad mean? The unintentional instance where what does that mean? Who's been fired for the 278,000 times that you improperly or illegally queried the database for American citizens? Anybody?
When we find intentional incidents,
Were you saying that the 278,000 queries were unintentional?
I believe that's correct.
The 278,000 inquiries were unintentional. It was just an accident. I accidentally looked into 278,000 Americans. 278,000 separate times. Accidents happen. We're humans. We're not AI after all. Not yet, anyways. We haven't been integrated.
Wow, 278,000 times American citizens' information was queried by your agency unintentionally? That's your testimony?
I would want to go back and check that, Senator. But
Well, that's what you just told me.
My understanding is that the vast majority of
Well, wait, that's different. You just said it was. You just said it was unintentional. Now it's the vast majority. Which is it? Do you know?
I would want to go back and check it.
So you don't know?
My understanding is that likely all were unintentional.
Likely all. So first it was all of them, then it was vast majority. Now it's likely all. So you don't know is the answer to the question.
No, of course he doesn't know. Of course he doesn't know. He knows that those 278,000 inquiries were part of the job. That was the job that year. That's what filled up their time, what filled up their books. They took agents off of stopping sex trafficking, off of stopping international terrorists, off of stopping anything that could be viewed as actually productive with their time, to accidentally look up American citizens. Like I said before, hey, shit happens. I mess up in my job, and if I happen to mess up 278,000 times in 1 year in my job, and my employer's upset about it, I mean, like I said, accidents happen, man. I'm only human. So you look me in my eyes and tell me that I can't make, a mistake or two, or, almost 300,000, then I guess sue me.
I don't know the answer as we sit here today, but I will
Could
find
have
out
started
and I
with
will
that
get back to
probably.
you.
Who was fired for the lies to the FISA court for the Carter Page warrant? Who was fired for that? Anybody? Has anybody been held accountable for your institution deliberately lying to a FISA court to get a wiretap on an ongoing presidential campaign?
There is an ongoing disciplinary process with respect to individuals involved in that.
Here's the deal. You're back in front of us asking for the reauthorization of extraordinary authorities. Multiple courts have uncovered extraordinary abuses perpetrated by your agency. You are at the same time concealing information about serious allegations made against the President of the United States, even as your institution also targets his chief political opponent in an unprecedented way. Why would we ever give you the blank check that you want to continue surveilling American citizens in an improper manner. Why would we ever do that?
Senator, we're here to talk about reforms today. I did get confirmation that the query.
No, we're not. We're here to talk about the reauthorization of Section 702. Why would we reauthorize it, given your track record of abuse and illegal improper surveillance and political targeting? Why would we do that? Why would it be appropriate for this body to do that?
We've made significant reforms and implemented corrective measures.
Ha ha! They've implemented reforms and made corrective measures. Yeah, I believe that as much as I believed when the FBI director a few years ago said that the FBI investigated itself and came to the conclusion that the FBI did no wrongdoing. Big surprise.
We've seen significant progress as a result of that, Senator. The
So you
queries
say.
that you mentioned early were, in fact, unintentional. That's what I was just told by my counterpart.
That is an
Clarify
amazing.
the earlier question.
So your testimony.
So he doubled down on it. He just let us know that he was informed while being off camera that it was indeed a mistake. Or 278,000 mistakes.
Is the 280,000 queries of American citizens was unintentional. That's your final answer?
That's how they were assessed by that team that did the review. I'm not satisfied with that. That's
Yeah, I
why
don't believe
we've
that at all.
implemented further measures, as I announced earlier today.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all. And frankly, we've heard from your agency 1,000 times that you're going to do better, will do better. You promised after the abuses of Title I you'd do better, and then we find out that in the meantime you're illegally querying 280,000 American citizens' data. It's unbelievable, frankly. Everything you say is unbelievable.
Yeah. So Senator Hawley just hit it right on the fucking head. He hit the nail right on the head. 100%. Nothing that they say is to be believed. And so in the meantime, right, let's take a look at this article from the New York Times. And I'm going to wrap this video up just to show the other side. So that was into the recordings of the Joe Biden and Hunter Biden with Burisma, right? So obviously the DOJ, we got to go after Hunter Biden for something. Can't just like completely ignore her, right? Oh, Hunter Biden investigation from the New York Times. Hunter Biden to plead guilty on misdemeanor tax charges. You got that? He's pleading guilty. He did it. He admits it. Okay? He admits that he also, like the FBI, made a mistake or two on his taxes. That's just a misdemeanor. He didn't not pay taxes. He didn't launder money or anything like that. He didn't take bribes from foreign companies or individuals or political leaders to gain political sway. He never did such things, because had he, then the investigation into him would have led to more charges than misdemeanor tax charges. So, under a deal with the Justice Department, the president's son agreed to probation for filing his taxes late. And he can avoid a late charge that he lied about his drug use when he purchased a handgun. And he can avoid a charge that he lied about his drug use when he purchased a handgun. That's funny. So if you wear like a medical marijuana card holder, you have to disclose that when you're trying to purchase a firearm. And if you lied about it and got caught lying on the application for the firearm, giving false pretenses, knowingly answering the questions incorrectly on the application, as a way to get that firearm, easier, faster, whatever the case is, more likely to get it. I don't believe that you'd have charges dropped, even if you even if you took a plea. Something in my heart of hearts just tells me that that would not that would not be the case. But I mean, again, I'm no lawyer, so here's the latest on Hunter Biden's case. The Justice Department and Hunter Biden, the president's son, have reached an agreement. I already read that. Mr. Biden will plead guilty to misdemeanor counts to failing to pay his 2017 and 18 taxes on time and agree to probation, the court filing said. The deal most likely resolves the investigation without Mr. Biden having to serve a prison sentence. Now, what I talk about when I first came on here, the Trump indictment. Isn't it funny? Isn't it very funny that Trump is having felony charges brought up against him on lying? What was it? Lying about campaign funds, right? And using to pay off the porn star, right? Okay. And then what is he being charged with in the federal court in Miami? Oh, that's right, for mishandling classified documents. We already talked about classified and unclassified. Who else? Who else? And mind you, I mean, it's obvious to say that legally so, every other president before Donald Trump did the same thing, but they had the legal right to do so. So going after them wouldn't have made any sense. Kind of like it doesn't make any sense to go after Trump. But who else? They weren't the president at the time, so they didn't have any authority to obtain and hold on to classified documents. It rhymes with Mo Clyden. Oh man, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Oh yeah. You know that guy, the big guy. And he's getting, he meaning Donald Trump, in the Miami federal court is facing up to 400 years. Charges that could lead up to 400 years of prison sentence. But Mr. Biden, the little guy, he gets to get away without serving a prison sentence because, of course, why would he serve a prison sentence for a misdemeanor tax fucking charge, you know, of being late on your taxes? No, that's like a financial penalty and, yeah, probation. There you go. That makes sense. Where are the charges? Where are the actual charges? The Justice Department would charge Mr. Biden, but agreed not to prosecute him in connection with his purchase of a handgun in 2018 during a period when he was using drugs. Yeah, as if he stopped. The deal would be contingent on Mr. Biden remaining drug-free for 24 months and agreeing to never own a firearm again. Oh, well. Then it looks like Hunter Biden might end up facing jail time if he's on probation and he needs to stay drug-free for the next 24 months. But then again, I'm sure he can find some clean male urine out there somewhere. He can solicit it out of someone. The agreement must still be approved by a federal judge. A federal judge, big surprise. Mr. Biden is expected to appear in federal court in Delaware, his home state, in the coming days to be arraigned on the misdemeanor tax charges and plead guilty. The President and First Lady said little in response to the filing. The President and the First Lady love their son, support him as he continues to rebuild his life, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. What matters is what was stated before, and that is there is no equal application of the law at this point, and the more that this is done and done out in the open, right, for everyone to see. I mean, it shouldn't be happening behind closed doors either. It shouldn't be happening at all. But the fact that this is being done with no remorse, not even like a second of like, maybe we should hold off, you know, it sets a really bad precedent. No, they're just, and it is and I'm not being facetious here, it is the deterioration and the complete destruction of America as it was. I can't even say as it is, as it was. Up to this point, it's been being chipped away for its entire existence by a group of people who are trying to just dominate. They're just trying to dominate everything in this country through force, through power, through exertion and extortion on others. And it seems like, for the moment, have succeeded at getting us off of this fucking track. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up here, folks. I appreciate you guys for being here and for sticking around. And it really means a lot to me for everyone. Just remember that this is America.